Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. This is going to be the third video on basically how to get Bitcoin and altcoins. This will be like the last one I'll make on these apps, and then going forward, I'll basically just use these apps in rotation as I make periodic videos. But this particular app is called MinerGate, which you can find right here. Basically, what it is it mines several, or it can mine several different type of coins. So you got Bytecoin, Dashcoin, Digital Note, Phantom Coin, Infinium 8, Moneda Verde, Monero, Quasar Coin. So those are basically different coins you can mine now, or altcoins you can mine. And what an altcoin is just essentially like what Bitcoin is. It's just a different group making a different coin and trying to get it to be traded on the market. Basically, all these altcoins are trying to be like the Bitcoin. They're trying to get that big name, the big status, the big market cap. Um, I have mine set on Monero because, like, more recently I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it and how it's a good coin, and it's gonna have like good practical applications and how it could be used in the cryptocurrency space. Um, but for practicality purposes, you may or may not want to mine. The reason being is early like 2010, 2011. I think when Bitcoin around 2009, whatever, when we really started coming up, but a year or two after, people started mining for these coins because every 10 minutes, like 25 new coins come out on the market, and basically miners try to find them and solve these blocks, which are complicated puzzles like a Rubik's cube essentially. And once you solve that puzzle, they get the coin. But and then of course the more coins out there, the bigger the market cap, but the more the people own them, the more the price gets driven up. But there's doesn't mean that Bitcoin is the only coin out there. There's hundreds of them by now. It's probably in the thousands already by now. But all these altcoins that you can bet into. Now, when you mine this stuff, basically, it's gonna start, and you're gonna be using your CPU for your phone, whether it's your computer or laptop, whatever. So your computer will, and depending on how many like cores it has and all that stuff. I don't want to get in like too much to like computers, but it's going to use the power of your phone. Now, why this may not be practical for some people is on your phone's not that bad because you don't use a whole lot of power. But then again, you don't use a lot of this hashing power, the HS right here, to find these coins. Now, when you use your computer, you can get a lot higher hash rate, which means your computer can work a lot faster to try to solve these puzzles to get these coins. The problem being is though you're going to be using more power, and sometimes what you get out of these coins in terms of profit, it doesn't equal what you spend in electricity to run your computer. So if you're into mining, either you live somewhere where you don't pay electricity, where like you live on a college campus, or you have an apartment complex where they pay for the electric bill or whatever, then it would probably be fine. It still takes a little bit to make money on this, but again, it's free. That's the whole main thing, and you could just leave your computer on all day as long as it's probably got like a fan on it or it's by a window so air can get in so it doesn't get too hot. And you can mine for coins and you can get them piece by piece and you get fractions. You see on XMR, which is Monero, I got 0.0050024591616. Way broken down into fractions. But that only comes out to probably like a buck or two. It's not that much. Now, if you're like me and you pay or you have to pay an electric bill, it's not practical for me to run this on my computer for just a few dollars. Now, if I find coins that aren't high in demand right now, that aren't a lot out there, and that I think, one day down the road might be profitable, and I mine them, there'll probably be a few coins and they'll be easier to get, and I can make money. But I ultimately have to determine if that's the investment I'm going to go for. If I look into the coin, what its utility is and how it's able to be used in the market, that'll be the ultimate the determining factor. But for right now, like I'm not into mining. Like I haven't found a profitable way or a coin that could be cheap to mine and yield me a profit down the road. So I'm gonna kind of stay away from it. But I just wanted to share this process with everyone just so they understand it. Because like I said, you could live at a college campus and you could just have your computer and you could just leave it on the mine and you can go to class. You know, like I said, as long as that computer's got like a fan or something, you know, like keeping it cool because it might overheat. You know, you could be mining coins while doing whatever. You know, you could be mining coins while you're sleeping at night. You know, you're not paying the bill, someone else is. Now, if you're a teenager living at home in your parents' house, you know, obviously don't just like run your computer all day because your parents are paying the electric bill. But like, you know, maybe they live in a complex where they don't pay the electric bill, then it might not be that big a deal. But and then of course with the video I did yesterday, you know, you could have a wallet and then you could just save your coins in the wallet or on this app. I would prefer to save it in a wallet though. It's just a little more secure that way. But this is all really data mining is. You just using your phone, your computer, and your phone, basically a little CPU drive, whatever, to mine this stuff. Now, they're all alternatives for mining. You could also use your GPU for your computer. You might need a different software other than MinerGate. You might use like NiceHash or like some other ones. And then there's a third option, which is the most cost-effective option, which is getting an ASIC device, which is basically a device that literally has one job and one job only, and it is to mine Bitcoin. And why that's more practical is because your CPU and your computer, your phone, or whatever will, you know, control your programs, control your screen, control aspects of your phone, control background apps, and all that. You know, so it's doing all that while trying to mine for Bitcoin, where this ASIC device will only mine Bitcoin. It will not do anything else. And with the benefit of that is, of course, you know, you got more hashing power and you're going to be getting more coins, and ultimately it's going to use less power because that device isn't a full-on computer doing multiple things at once. It's just doing one job, so it doesn't use as much power. Now, if you go that route, those devices are not cheap, especially now because the price of Bitcoin is like $1,200. You know, if you want to get an up to date, like one of them's called like an Antminer. Um, it's close to like 2 grand. You know, to get it. That's if you want the newest, most up to date one, and usually you do because that's the fastest one. That's gonna make you the most money. But like I said, that's if you want to go that route, and that's if it's financially feasible for you to actually make money doing it. If it's not, then I probably wouldn't go this route. But mainly, like I said, for people who really don't pay their electric bill for whatever reason, like it's just covered by someone else, you know, you're more likely to actually make a profit from mining where other people aren't. Now, if this was years ago when Bitcoin was a lot cheaper and less in demand, then you can make it would balance out a lot better because you'd be making money. But now, since it's so scarce to find them and like so many people are mining, and it's going to be difficult. And the blocks that they come in, you know, they're complicated to solve, and they make them harder and harder and harder because more and more people are trying to mine them, you know, because they don't want to make it easy, and then they just have to keep coming out with coins. You know, they make it harder, they make it more difficult. So that's why you come across like mining pools where, you know, a bunch of people will get into one group and they'll all mine this specific coin. And when they solve that block or solve that Rubik's Cube puzzle, you know, they divide up uh, the pieces of the coin to everybody, and whoever spent like the most hashing power to solve that coin will obviously get a bigger chunk than somebody who contributed less hashing power to solve it will get a smaller chunk. You know, so that's another thing to think about too is just because you're in a group and you're mining the coin doesn't mean you're going to get the most benefit because there's probably other guys in your group that got, you know, like better computer systems or ASIC systems or whatever, and they're able to get or able to contribute more power to it, so they're able to make more money in the long run. Now, if you all wanted to go this route, like I said, you could download software for your computer and you could do this. It's probably better because you'll get more hash rate, so it'll be a lot faster. You'll make more money, but you also spend more power. Whereas on a phone or laptop, you got probably a slower hashing rate, but you're using less power. You know, so it's kind of like a lose lose if you pay for power, and you know you're not getting a good hash rate either way. But I wanted to cover this as well because like I said, there's basically like the three options in my eyes to get Bitcoin. There's buy and sell. There's use like the BitMaker apps where you create like blocks and satoshis and you exchange them for Bitcoin, and then there's this app where you can just mine the coins themselves. So hopefully, going forward, if Bitcoin and some of these coins drop off, like they boom bust, they go down in price, then mining might get more popular again. It might be more profitable. But at the moment, at least from what I'm seeing from myself, it's not profitable because where I'm at, like the average price is like 12 cents a kilowatt hour to mine or to run power. And there's like Bitcoin calculators where like power consumption, the product you bought to buy like your computer and how much you can get and blah blah blah, and it'll solve, it'll tell you it's actually not profitable for you to mine Bitcoin, or it'll say it is profitable for you to mine Bitcoin, and it could tell you how much you can make in a day if you run it 24/7, how much you can make it in a week, how much you can make in a month, in a year, and so on and so forth. And there are people that literally have like warehouses, just basically like a gigantic server room where all they do is mine Bitcoin, and they can make like a few mil a month, because they got so much hashing power because they have so many computers and devices, and they could ultimately mine by themselves, which is harder to do, but it gets a bigger payoff because if you mine one of those blocks and you solve it, you get 100% of that profit, 100% of that Bitcoin. So that's another aspect of it as well. And of course, a lot of people would rather do that if they could, because then they can get more money. But I wanted to make just this video on that just so I could follow up, like I said, and give you all the options if you wanted to go this route. Now, ultimately, I'm going to buy and sell with Coinbase. I'm going to continue to use the BitMaker app because it just gives me a little bit here and there, even though it's a little bit, and I do mean little. So like you see on my Ethereum ETH down here, I got a $1.76 in it. So when I transferred over those Satoshi and those blocks, I had like about a quarter mil, maybe 300,000 worth, and it basically equated to $1.76 of Ethereum. Now what that ultimately took was maybe 2 or 3 days playing games on my phone, running ads or whatever for maybe an hour, 2 hours tops in one day collectively. So like throughout the day, like it probably totaled 2 hours of me doing that for a 3 day period to get those many blocks to only get $1.76. Now, like I said, you run those apps on your phone for free, you play the games for free, you watch the advertisements for free. It's not really costing you anything but a little bit of your time, and depending how you go about it, it could be worth it. Now, I personally I like to have uh like options to get free coins. I mean, like, why not? Free is free, and in the end, that's the best thing. Um, and then my Bitcoin, I just deposited $100 in the account just to get it started, and it's already up $4.48. It kind of had like a little bounce earlier, I think, when it went up in the one day. Yeah, I think I bought it. I think it eventually processed around here, and then it kind of just ran up a little bit and came up. So one thing to consider with this app, at least for me, for the very first purchase, is it took a little bit to get verified with my bank account first, and then it took a little bit to purchase the order. Now, from what I understand, once you go forward and make consecutive purchases, it functions a little faster. But I'm not gonna make an immediate purchase. I'm gonna wait for the price to come down a little bit, and then I'll make that purchase, so I'll be able to verify at that point. But of course, you all can follow up on other videos and content to verify if that's true as well. And then like I said, I'm gonna keep going to do both these coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm gonna keep investing in them, and I'm gonna be looking at some alternate or some other altcoins in the future. But right now, since this wallet just is only able to trade these two, these are the only ones I'm gonna be concerned with. So that's kind of the update on these apps and how they work. So of course, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. If you like this content, help me out, click like and subscribe, and I'll keep the channel going. Like I said, this is kind of really just the 3 videos I wanted to make on these apps, so I won't really do more tutorials on these. I'm just going to go forward and use these apps from day to day, and when I make videos, I'll kind of incorporate them into the rotation. So look out for those. So talk to you on the next video.